Welcome back to Ash on Comics. It's time for some DC previews. This is for April 2020, soliciting comics in June 2020. Wait a second. It's June 2020 right now. Oh, wait a second. This is wrong. This is DC Connect, issue number 1 for June 2020, soliciting comics on sale in August. When last we left off Ash on Comics, there was a pandemic, which is still going on, although it doesn't seem to matter these days. Apparently, pandemic only affects people who obey the law and follow rules and stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it. You know what's going on. I don't need to preach to you. So, you may have noticed the absence of videos on this channel. And that's because this is a comic books channel. And I just did a video recently, my Ash Wednesdays, which is sort of my comic haul podcast, get stuff off my chest series that I do. One of the other types of videos I do is the previews videos, which I used to do pretty much every month. There was a Marvel one and a DC one, but then the pandemic hit, Diamond shut down, and I just didn't do comic videos anymore because there weren't any new comics. And I tried to keep the channel alive, not completely dead, if you will, on life support. But I've been doing these live streams 3 nights a week where it's called Storytime Live. You may have seen them. It's basically me just hanging out with some channel regulars, talking comics, and reading comics live on air, and just having fun. So now comics are back. They're shipping every week. I thought it'd be fun to go back and do one of these videos. I love doing the previews videos. DC has left Diamond, so that Diamond preview thing you saw is no more. Those aren't actually coming out from Diamond. They're now being redistributed through, there's 2 different distributors, Luna, and I don't know what the other one was called, I forgot. But as you can see here, they've got their own book that they're producing, presuming themselves, to show what's coming out. And what I like to do is, I have not read this. I have not looked at it at all. I know some stuff coming out just because you hear stuff on the grapevine, but this is going to be a cold read. This is a chance essentially for you to go through the DC Connect book just like, you would on your own if you had it in front of you. But you're going to get to do it with me, follow along, and hear my reactions and my opinions. And hopefully it'll provide some level of entertainment and information to you. Let's go ahead and get the show on the road. First, let's see. We got welcome to the debut issue of DC Connect, the new catalog of what's coming to DC each month. This downloadable catalog features solicitation information for DC's comics, original graphic novels, collected editions, and collectibles. And that's just the start. In the coming months, we'll evolve this catalog into something that truly embraces communication to all DC fans. In future issues of DC Connect, you can look forward to expanded content including talent interviews, preview pages from upcoming stories, behind-the-scenes look at projects in development, multimedia content, and more. The catalog will also have a new look and layout, making it more engaging and easier to quickly absorb the important information that you need to make informed ordering decisions. Whether you're a retailer considering your DC orders for the month, or a fan who wants to know what's up with their favorite DC heroes, DC Connect will give you the inside track on all things DC. Now, I have to say, that sounds really cool, to be honest. I thought the Diamond preview book, it was meant for retailers, but, fans didn't really have places to go because DC and Marvel don't really market their stuff. They market to retailers, but not the fans. And unless you've got a really kick-ass retailer, retailers don't do a really good job marketing product to their customers. It's just like, here's new comics, they're on the shelf. So I've always thought that DC should do a better job. And now they were doing stuff like a year or 2 ago. I think it was called DC Connect. And it was like a comic book size book. And it was like 25 cents. And I was like, this is brilliant. And they did like 6 issues of it, and then they stopped. And it was just like a comic book. Oh, and then that's not the first issue was like a comic book size, and then they went to magazine size, and I was like, you should keep this comic book format. Do a 20-page, and you don't have to structure it the way the retailers do. Like, you can still have your book stuff, or at the time, Diamond was producing their own magazine or catalog for retailers. So it was that stuff was unnecessary. This was just, let's target the audience, the base audience, you and I. And you didn't need to have a 100-page catalog the way the Diamond one was. You just needed to have the key pieces. I didn't need to know every little statue that's coming out. If I wanted, I could go to the previews book for that. But for the stuff they're talking here with like interviews and behind the scenes, that sort of stuff, that 20 to 30 page little comic book size format book, charge like 25 cents. So, maybe not everyone wants it. Charge enough to just cover the printing, right? Cover the costs, ship it out to retailers. I would buy it. And I think a lot of people would get a kick out of it. That DC, I'm pretty sure it was called DC Connect. If I'm wrong, put it in the chat. But they had like variant covers on that first issue. There's like a Joker cover, I believe, and it was like my store was selling for like $50. I was like, Jesus. And then they went to magazine format and no one cared, and then they just abandoned it altogether. I didn't understand. But anyways, here's what we're talking about. Batman 3 Jokers. This is something that's been I've been hearing about for a while. It's been perpetually put on the back burner because, as we know, this is the Jeff Johns product. Doomsday Clock was like over a year behind schedule. It got super delayed, so that of course cost 3 Jokers to be delayed. Then of course there's the pandemic. There's all sorts of things causing this book. Rightfully, probably would have come out a year ago, and now it's coming out later this year. It's a 3-issue series. Let's see, it's $6.99. Well, of course, there's a variant cover, but 2 variant covers. Prestige format, resolicited. I can't tell if it's the oversized format or not. I don't really like the big magazine size format, like of Batman Damned. I know some people are like, oh, it's a nice, bigger, great, you can get the art, but as a comic book collector, I like the uniformity of the comics. They all fit in the same box and all. And if you want to do an oversized, like do a collected edition, and then do a big oversized collected edition. That's the way I think you should do it. This is very interesting. I don't know a whole lot about it other than there's this idea that there's 3 different Jokers. I think people that are interested probably know more about this. I'm going to obviously pick this up. It's Jeff Johns. Guy does no wrong. And I'm not a big Joker guy. I think Joker's way overdone right now. They just did a 100-page Joker anniversary thing. I had zero interest. Didn't pick it up. Just skipped right past it. All the different Joker Harley books, all Dark Label, Joker. No. But I knew like a year ago this was coming. And so I just told myself, you know what? Just unless Joker appears in Batman or Detective Comics, I'm not going to pay attention to him until this book comes out, because I don't want to just get over inundated with characters. Too much of a good thing is not a good thing. And this, by all amounts, should be the definitive Joker book of our time. Hopefully, cross our fingers. Jeff Johns usually delivers. He's had this going on forever, so he's had plenty of time to work out, I don't want to say all the kinks, but I'm saying, like, polish the story, just really nail it. Jason Fabok, get the art down. Really looking forward to this. So, let's see. We want to tell the best Batman story, the best Joker story possible. So it sounds like it's going to be a Batman story on top of being just a Joker. I can't wait. I'm not sure. What do you think about the prestige format? It's 48 pages, so essentially it's a double-size issue. You're paying $7. Would you rather... I kind of more am a comic floppy fan. Like, I just like the normal stapled traditional comic book style. I don't know if it's because I'm a traditionalist. You're getting essentially... It's 3 issues at $6.99 versus 6 issues at $3.99. You're getting more bang for your buck, but I still just prefer normal comics. The prestige format feels nice when you're just holding it in your hand, like, we're not open. But when you try to read it, you don't want to, like, open it very wide because it's going to crease, and I feel like I can't touch it. I don't know. Floppies just feel easier and better. but I'm probably alone on that. Deceased Dead Planet. Wow. The sequel to the blockbuster miniseries of 2019 continues because, of course, it continues. It's already been continuing. There's already been a Deceased. I forget the other Deceased book that came out. So this is like the third series. This is just Marvel Zombies in more ways than one. Not just that it's a direct ripoff of Marvel Zombies, but I know, my dog agrees. Not only is it a direct ripoff, but it's going to do what Marvel Zombies did. Remember how Marvel Zombies had like 5, 6, I know there's like over half a dozen Marvel Zombie series. It got ridiculous. I do really like the covers though, man. I gotta tell you about Marvel Zombies. Death Metal is here. Yeah. Now a 7-issue miniseries. Oh, it was a 6-issue, but apparently it's now going to be 7. Hopefully this is as good as the original Metal. There's been a lot of, I don't want to say controversy, but there's been some discourse back and forth. I've been different YouTubers and people on social media that I follow and talk to and stuff. And some people are like, Death Metal, blah, blah, this and that. But I'm excited, man. I look back and I think of all the events that have happened since 2018 when I got back into comics and collecting. What is the best event of the big two? And Metal, the original Metal, is got to be it. I don't count Doomsday Clock. It wasn't an event. That's not an event. It's a miniseries. Good story, great, but Death Metal was an event. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, Death Metal. It's like, why do we need Metal? It ruined things. And I'm like, what did it ruin? It helped add on to the mythology of Nth Metal, which is cool. And mythology, I think, is cool in general. It's one of the reasons why most of us read comics. We enjoy mythology. Comics are a modern mythology, and adding to that mythology is, I don't want to say can only be a good thing, because you can do some stupid stuff, but as long as you do some creative, I think the Nth Metal thing was kind of already there. It wasn't explained. The creation of the dark multiverse, I thought, was a cool concept. I like the idea that it was, because we already have the multiverse, right? But I like the idea that this was the place where the sort of the universe, if you take the universe as some sort of, I don't want to say, it's not a living thing, but like a system, like the way nature on our planet is like a system. The universe itself is a system, and it has things incorporated in it to work itself out. And when bad things or failure states in that system happened, that was what the dark multiverse was for, and it was meant to a way of taking care of that and eradicating it and letting these things die and then be recycled. And there was this whole thing like the World's Forge, and then we had the god Barbados, and that's where I think Perpetua comes from that too. But that system had broken down, and that's why the dark multiverse was allowed to exist. It was something that was never supposed to be, It's kind of like the trash guy didn't come. They went on strike and didn't pick up the trash, and now trash is all over the street, polluting up the area. That's kind of what was happening. Anyways, I thought it was a really neat concept. If you haven't read Metal, it's not as dark and it's not what it appears on the surface. I thought it was a really cool, heroic, cosmic story. There's great Batman, Superman team-up moments with their characters. I'm looking forward to this. I don't really like overdone metal things. Or sorry, not metal things. I don't like overdone events. That's why I don't even buy the Marvel events, with the exception of, what was it? The Carnage one. But I only bought the 6 issues. I didn't get any of the spin-off crap. I might be doing the same thing with Metal, even though I'm a fan of it. I just don't like all the, get this book and the spin-off and a one-shot, blah, 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 and they're just milking the fans. I like Greg Capullo. I like Scott Snyder. I do kind of like the Batman Who Laughs. Some people say he's overdone, but in 2 years, he's really only been a part of 3 story arcs. 4, I guess, if you count the Year of the Villain as a story arc. I don't know. But I can see why he's not everyone's favorite. He's definitely not as overdone as the Joker or Harley Quinn right now, though. So hopefully this will be the end of this character, at least for a long, long while, because he does run into that potential. We are going to get a bunch of books here. Look at this. Legends of Dark Knights #1. Do we need this? 48 pages. Look at all these writers. What is this going to be? And I'm not reading all this stuff to you because you can just pause the screen and read the descriptions. Sometimes I need to read it, though, just so I know what it is. We got the Dark Knights Death Metal Guidebook. Another 48-page book. Wow. Why are these... Look at these covers. These look like the Dungeons and Dragons. What were they doing when they did like 4th or 5th edition? Just those books. I just... I'm interested here. Chip Zdarsky doing something with Batman. I don't know what those are. I'll try to get more information. Look, Teen Titans Beast Boy trade paperback by Cami Garcia. This will not be utter dog shit. I'm certain of it. Oh, God. Oh, why? Oh, God. What the hell am I looking at? Why is her head... Never mind. I know why her head is shaved. Because she's a lesbian. Look at this. Earth 1 Volume 2. Offered again. Hardcover. This was well received. This whole Earth 1 series was really well received. I want to read all these. See, now we got Joker War. This is one of the things I'm a little bit bothered by, to be honest, is Joker War. Now, I get the pandemic put a 3-month pause on a lot of stuff, so everything's being jammed in together, but I don't like coming out of this and it's like, hey, we're releasing comics, and they're being released at faster pace because we're backlogged, and now we're going to jump into this Joker War, which is like 20 issues of spin-offs and stuff, and then you have Metal, and then what else is coming out? 5G is coming down later after the summer. We don't need all this. This is what I'm talking about, Joker being overdone. I am not... I buy Batman because I like Batman. Tinian's good. Jorge Jimenez is one of my favorite artists, but I don't like him in Batman. He's altered his style for Batman, and it's not my favorite. He's so great, but... Kenneth Rocafort coming into Detective Comics. So I'll be reading the Batman and the Detective Comics, but I'm not going to get these. I don't care about the spin-offs. I'm certainly not getting Harley Quinn, Sam Humphries. Oh, God. Nightwing. Dan Jurgens still writing it. People said Nightwing's gotten a lot better. Nightwing has never been my favorite. I tried to dip in when he got shot in the head, and I was actually a big proponent of some of the changes that they were doing. It wasn't executed well at all, and I ended up dipping out by issue 60. I was like, where is this going? This isn't going anywhere. And it sucks when you have a publisher mandate on a character and the writers can't really do anything with it, so they're just sort of hamstrung. It's like, okay, we'll just have Rick Grayson running around with paint around his eyes, and he's just doing nothing. Can't we fix it? No, can't do anything. Speaking of Red Hood, this is interesting. Man, Scott Lobdell has just been quietly over there doing Red Hood, and fans of that book have been happy. I only dropped the book myself because I like the Outlaws. I thought Outlaws is what made that book. And then they're like, no, we need to pull these characters for someone else. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, this is great. You got... No. And so they made it Red Hood Outlaw. And apparently it's like the Outlaws are back, but they're still calling it Red Hood Outlaw, so I don't know. This is a really cool cover. I like this. I like giant robots in general, but I just really like this cover. I like Wonder Woman standing in defiance and looking up. And, it's art by Michael Janin. I'm sure it's gorgeous, but it's written by Mariko Tamaki. Womp, womp, womp. No interest whatsoever. Wonder Woman 61. More Mariko Tamaki. I do not understand why they pulled her. No interest in the Vertigo, not Vertigo series. This is clearly a Vertigo book, but not a Vertigo book because we have to cancel Vertigo to save face. Because we can't just admit that certain editors at DC screwed the pooch and destroyed probably the greatest comic imprint that's ever been created. And so we're just going to keep the books, but cancel the imprint, not admit that the imprint was that these guys created. I don't know, you guys. I don't get Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. Well, this doesn't look as gay as the movie. Let's see. Now a DC Black Label series. Oh, this looks intriguing. Mitch Gerard's. Oh, it's Strange Adventures #4. Now a DC Black Label series. It wasn't Black Label before? Oh, but now it is? What? I'm calling shenanigans. Oh, God. Super Sons Book 3 Escape to Landis. I don't even know what that means. The finale to the graphic novel series by New York Times bestselling author Ridley Pearsons. I read the first book of this, and it was terrible. Terrible. This isn't Super Sons. Do you see down here? This is the cover. It's all low res here, but there's this black girl, and then there's another girl that's not on the cover for some reason, probably because I don't know why. But it's like, oh, it's about them as much as it is about John Kent. And then this is not even Damien. This is, what's his name? They changed his name. It's not even Damien. I can't remember. And they call him Bat Kid. It's so awful. It is so awful. Like I wanted to do a series on it, but it was so painful it wasn't even going to be funny. And it was like 190 pages of just sheer virtue signaling nonstop about the planet melting because of the global warming, because of gender politics, just nonstop. This book is pure, like, indoctrination for kids. It's pure meant to just mind fuck your kids. Please do not buy this for your kids. And then there's Action Comics. I've stopped reading this. Entertainment Weekly gave it Superhero of the Year. I don't know why, because Superman's not even a hero in his own book. I've read about 30 issues combined between Action and Superman, and every single time, any sort of resolution to any conflict, it was someone else. Superman is never the hero of his own book. And so now he's Hero of the Year. Probably because he stands aside and lets his wife cheat on him with Lex Luthor. God, what Bendis is doing is just abysmal. Amethyst, no one cares. I'm just going to skip past. Aquaman, it's no longer Kelly Sue DeConnick. It's Jordan Clark. I don't know who Jordan Clark is, but too bad DC lost me as an Aquaman fan. So hopefully Jordan can right the ship and get people excited again. But I'm not going to just I'm not going to do this game where I jump on and off and go like, oh, you put this bad person on the comic, I'm off. And as soon as they come off the comic, I jump right back on. Because then you just get your hopes up, and who knows, 6 issues down the road, that person's gone. I'm going to wait a while. I'm going to wait for people to say, no, it's great. You got to check it out. You got to sell me hard. Once you lose me, you got to work twice as hard to get me back. Batman the Outsiders is still being written by Brian Hill. I like Brian Hill a lot. Really a lot. He's a great dude on social media. I want to support this guy. I did not like Batman the Outsiders. Now, I didn't hate it. It just felt like it was a little bit too decompressed, a little bit too much nothing happened, a lot of spinning the wheels, for my taste. Other people have liked Batman on the Outsiders. I wish it success. I'm also not a fan of Dexter Soy as an artist. Some people love Dexter Soy. So if this is a book for you, by all means, support it. I want Brian Hill to succeed. I have to cut books. I can only get so many books, and that unfortunately didn't make my cut. Batman Beyond is, from my understanding, people who like Batman Beyond is wait, why is this dude in here? Isn't that Damian's? Oh, guest starring Batwoman and Damian Wayne. I don't really like that. Why is Batman Beyond in current continuity? It's all weird to me. I don't know about this, but Batman Beyond fans like it, so whatever. Batman The Adventures Continue. This is a thing I've been getting digitally. Now it's a 7-issue miniseries. Yay! This is one of the books I've been reading on my Storytime live streams. You can come along and check it out. I recommend picking this up if you like the Batman animated series. This is right in line with that. I mean, it feels the same stories written by Paul Dini and what was it? Alan Burnett, art by Ty Templeton. It's Batman the Animated Series. If you missed that series, do yourself a favor and check those out. You can get the digital versions for $1. Now, they're only half of the comic. If you get the physical comic, it's actually 2 chapters per comic. So even though the comic's $3.99, the digital version is only getting like essentially half the comic. So you're paying 99 cents, but you got to buy 1 and 2 to equal number 1 of the comic, the physical. Does that make sense? So they're still half the price digitally. But if you like the comics got really cool covers. Really cool covers. And the second issue's got a Sean Gordon Murphy cover. Should have picked him up for that reason alone. Batman's Grave. I read the first issue of this. It bored me to tears. I was not interested. And I don't really like miniseries unless they're special. What I mean is, I don't like a miniseries that feels like this could have just been in the normal series. This could have just been a Batman 12-issue arc of Batman. Why did it have to be a miniseries? A miniseries to me needs to be something. It's like, hey, we could not do that. Like last Night on Earth, Scott Snyder did. You couldn't do that. So by all means, make it a miniseries. Sean Gordon Murphy's White Knight, by all means, make it a miniseries. But sometimes they do these ones where it's just like, we got a Batman story. We want an excuse to just have another Batman. We're not going to launch a full another Batman series. So we'll just launch a miniseries and get away with 3 Bat books for a while. Like, I don't know. That's how it comes off to me. Batman Superman. I fell off the wagon a little bit because they changed the art. I forgot his name, and I did not like it. David Marquez, who's doing the cover art here, was the original artist, and he was really good. Josh Williamson's still writing it. He's really good. But what is up with this cover? This is a homoerotic cover if I've ever seen one. What the hell? What am I looking at? I don't know. I like the not final cover here, but that looks cool. Is that Francis Manipul? No, Jay Lee. But I don't like this cardstock bullshit. Charge an extra $1 just to have the cover be cardstock. It costs them maybe 5 cents extra in paper cost, and then they pass it off as $1. Screw that. I hate predatory practices. Oh, look, speaking of Sean Gordon Murphy cover, Catwoman 24, written by Sean Murphy and Blake Northcott. Ooh, I might have to pick this up just because I like Sean Gordon Murphy's writing. I'll see if I don't know who this is. Is that Cyan Tormey? I don't know who that artist is. Not a Catwoman fan in her own book. I like her as a side character. I don't really like her as have her own book character, but I'd be down for a story or two. And I'm a sucker for Sean Gordon Murphy. Plus, Blake Northcott seems cool. I'd like to see what they came up with. I think they are doing 3 total issues. Flash 759. Josh Williamson is leaving this book. Man, he's had like over 80 issues. It's hard to say now exactly how many because at 750 they cut back to the real numbering bullshit. Which is, part of me is glad because they should have never rebooted the series, but then it's so awful when they like jump back and it was like 80 something and then they went to 750 and you're just like, what? It feels weird. Then it gets confusing on like which books continue to what. I don't like that. I don't know, maybe the legacy number. I don't know what the solution is when you screw up like that. But man, the Flash variant covers are always sick as hell. Okay, maybe not always, but a lot of times. But yeah, Josh Williamson's run. I hear a lot of great things. I haven't been reading the current Flash, but a lot of people are saying they love it. Green Lantern, I jumped off of this when they made it into this season bullshit. Talk about predatory practices. They stopped Green Lantern series so that they could do the Black Stars arc, so that then they could stop that and then restart the series again for the next arc. And I'm like, I'm not going to just buy seasons. You're not a TV show. Just, I hate that. If you want to continue the numbering, right? Like, you could do that. Like, you could have done Green Lantern 1 through 12, and then the Dark Stars should have been Green Lantern 13, and you just say Dark Stars arc, it's more 13, and then you want to go into season 2, it's issue 16, Green Lantern issue 16, and say Green Lantern season 2. Start here is, but whatever. They want their money. They want that juicy number 1 money. Hawkman 26, one of the best, most underappreciated comics on the shelf here. I've talked about Hawkman numerous times. I used to think he was a stupid looking character. I had no interest in him. I thought he was hokey. I was like, whatever. And then Robert Venditti came and did this Hawkman book, and I decided to try it because DC was canceling all the books that I loved. And I was like, well, I got to avoid what I got to fill it with. People have been saying this Hawkman book's pretty cool. It was around issue number 5. And I was like, all right, I'll pick this up. Everyone's saying it's really good. And it was easy to, go back to number 1 and get all the issues. And I got to about, after the first couple issues, I was like, whatever, I'm okay. It's interesting. He's an archaeologist. I didn't know squat about Hawkman. And then I got to about issue 5 or 6, and I was like, oh, this is starting to get really good. And then issue 7, I was like, mind blown, like, whoa, this is amazing. And then after that, it was like a roller coaster. It's like those first 6 issues were like the climb up the roller coaster, like, up to the hill. And then issue 7 is like you're starting to see that you're about to drop, and you're like, oh my God. And then issues 8 through 12 was the rest of the ride. Fantastic, heroic story. It's been a little bit off and on since, but it's really recuperated recently. There was this weird, the hero, what was it? The Year of the Villain stuff kind of really threw a kink in the book. It never went bad. The book's never been bad, but it just lowered. It went from a really good book to an average book. And now it's picking up again to a really good book. And they brought in Hawkwoman into the story, which she's a super important part of his history. And you got to check the book out. It's super underappreciated. Justice League Dark, never thought I'd be reading a book like this. I haven't read the Ram V stuff. I'm looking forward to checking out because I know people say he's a really good horror writer. Justice League 50, Simon Spurrier is now on it. Scott Snyder got me to enjoy this book. And I guess I'll give Simon Spurrier a try and see if it's good. Wait, what? He's writing Simon's art by Aaron Lopresti. Okay, all right. Justice League 51, Jeff Loveness, art by Dobson Roca and Daniel. What? Are these just going to be simple one-off? Oh, it's Nick Darrington. This is the guy that took over Batman Superman that made me kind of go, Justice League Odyssey. Okay, Dan Abnett. DC needs to just keep Dan Abnett. If they're going to do cosmic stuff, having this guy in your stable. Yeah. Legion of Superheroes number 8. 22 top artists illustrate the first chapter of a 2-part tale. 22 artists. What the F am I looking at here? What the 22 artists? Are you kidding me? Every page is going to be a different art, isn't it? Oh, and it's a 2-part tale by Brian Michael Bendis. This dude is all gimmick. He's all style. It's not even style. He's just all fluff and no substance. I thought Mad Magazine got canceled. Wow, it's still going on apparently. All right. It's turned into a total woke nonsense book. I used to love Mad Magazine as a kid. Metal Men's still going on. Dan Didio's last hurrah, DC. Some people really like Metal Men. I'm like, I have no emotional attachment. The deaths of Vic Sage. People have been really liking this. I couldn't stand the art. I just couldn't stand the art. I flipped that thing open, and this is one of those oversized books. And I'm like, you're charging me $6.99 for this oversized book that's like Batman Damned, and then you're going to give me art like this? No. But some people like it, so good for them. Scooby-Doo, not for me, but maybe for you. Suicide Squad by Tom Taylor. I'm sure it's trash. Let's see. Superman 24 by Brian Michael Bendis, art by Kevin McGuire, and I know Superman has just not been good. I saw some recent screenshots of some pages, and I was like, I'm not reading this book anymore. I have no reason to believe that all of a sudden it's gotten good, so I continue to trash on it. But I see these pages that pop up on social media, and I'm just like, it's actually possibly gotten worse. Teen Titans has never been my thing, but I know it has its fans, so I have no really comments on this. It's not for me. More Teen Titans Annual, Wonder Woman Dead Earth. I think this art is ugly. What they made Wonder Woman just ugly. Some people said, "Oh, it's good. I like it." I'm the pitch of it sounds cool. Like I want to read it, just because I want a cool Wonder Woman story, and I like the pitch. But then again, I look at this, and this is one of those oversized issues. So you're getting this gigantic magazine style book, and what it's gonna look like this. Like I get to pay $6.99 an issue for. No, I wouldn't want to pay $3.99 for floppies for this. Like, I don't know what DC editorial's thinking sometimes. Wonder Woman Annual, Young Justice 17. I can't believe this book is still going. It's such a nonsense book. But I guess that's what Bendis does. He writes nonsense, and people, they like it. It's basically the way I describe his writing is he's trying to turn every comic into Friends. Remember the TV show Friends? I hated that TV show, but it had a lot of fans. Like, that was a number one show. I think it had like 10 seasons or maybe 8 seasons. It lasted for a pretty good while, and it was really popular during its heyday. But I hated it because every character was almost essentially the same. They were always trying to just sound quick and witty. There was never really any point to the show. And they were all just kind of doofuses that you could laugh at, which I guess is fine for that show. Like, that's what it's supposed to be. It's what it's trying to be. But don't turn Superman into that. Don't turn Legion of Superheroes into that. Young Justice is absolutely that. Like, it's just witty banter back and forth. We do, like, just nonstop, and nothing matters. Nothing really happens. It's just a series of random events, and it's like, I guess the entertainment of the book is everything. Oh, it's so random. Look what just happened. And you're just like, do you care about plot? I do. So I don't read any of Bendis' stuff. So then we have these DC Classic books that I saw. I saw the first issue on the shelf last week, and I was a little bit confused when I saw it. It was the Batman Adventures #1. I know DC was doing these dollar books, and I was like, wait a second, why is this $2? Did they get rid of the dollar books? I don't know, but I think what they're doing here is they're printing an entire run of books, or at least an arc, whereas the dollar books, which were based off of the True Believers books before it at Marvel, you get like a select issue, and it's meant to sort of be like a teaser. So you're paid like this, 99 cents or $1 or whatever for the book, which is a super, super value, but it's kind of a loss leader, right? The idea is like, you get, say, like the first issue of Crisis on Infinite Earths. You're like, oh, it's $1 book, but you don't get the rest of the story. The idea is like maybe you read that and say, oh, this is cool, I want to read more. You'll go buy the trade paperback. People have complained, said, I wish they would just keep printing the whole series, at $1, but it makes sense that they're not going to do that because they're not making any money. But so I saw this, I'm like, so it's $1.99. Oh, what they're doing now, I can see this is issue 3. You're going to get a run or an arc. You're going to pay a little bit more, but it's still decent value. Now, what I don't like here is the facsimile editions, $3.99 for a reprint comic. The problem that I have with this is I like the idea of facsimile. I like the idea that I get not just the reprint of the comic, but I get all the original ads and everything like that, because I think that's a really cool part of nostalgia and pop culture. But $3.99 is more than comics have ever costed, considering inflation. So that means that I'm paying for this reprint book. It's costing me more than the book cost originally when DC made it once upon a time, when they had to pay for the editors and the artists and everything else. This book already exists. They don't have to pay those costs. Those costs are already covered. So all they're doing is just putting it back to press exactly with no changes other than the price tag. It's the only thing that the editor has to do is go in and go change the price. And they're charging you more than they did the first time around. And I think that's a ripoff. So I don't have anything to do with those. Hillhouse Comics is very popular. A lot of people are like, oh man, I'm digging these Hillhouse books. I'm not a big horror comics guy. I like the horror genre in very specific doses and ways. And so typically I don't really like getting it through comics. But I can respect it. And a lot of people, they do it in different strokes for different folks, as they say. This book, Plunge, I've been told like, oh, Plunge is really good. And Joe Hill, of course, the guy who the series is named after, the Hillhouse Comics imprint's named after. Stuart Immonen is a top-tier talent artist. And I can't help but go back to this idea. Why did they have to cancel Vertigo? It seems to me that Hillhouse Comics is really success. This is what Vertigo should have been. Instead of all that woke nonsense like Border Town and what was that first book that launched? God, it's been out of my mind for so long. I can't remember the Zoe Quinn book. You guys remember it? All the Vertigo books were just woke nonsense, and that killed the line. It killed the imprint of this once great imprint, which was built, if everyone remembers, Vertigo was a horror line, right? And then they do Joe Hillhouse Comics, and it's a big success. These should have just been the new Vertigo, but what do I know? I'm not a publisher. I'm just some dude with a YouTube account. Speaking of Vertigo stuff, they're still publishing these books. Books of Magic, Hellblazer. Like, why is... It just makes me wonder. This is a series that I didn't continue on with. It started off pretty strong. I heard good things. I liked the first issue. Maybe I'll collect this when it comes out in collected format. I just didn't have any interest in buying it. Again, my problem isn't I can't afford to buy every comic that looks pretty good. Even really good comics I have to pass by. And sometimes I know I'll pass up comics that are probably really good for a comic that's not quite as good, but because it's more in my wheelhouse, it's something I'm interested in. So, I'm the guy who bought Tom King Batman comics until he left. I'm just, because I like Batman. I want to like Batman. And even when it sucks, I'm buying the Tom King Batman and I'm passing up on some other good book. And it's probably something we all do. I don't know. Tell me if you do that. And you kicked yourself in wherever you kick yourself. This is kind of cool. Blackest Night, Brightest Day box set. That'd be pretty cool. Oh wait, no, I thought this was the custom comic box. This is actually a box set getting all the, well, that's pretty cool too. $300 is a little bit pricey for me, but someone's gonna be interested in that. Bane the Demon Trilogy. Oh, I just read this recently. This is cool. The origin of Ra's al Ghul. These are in hardcover. Batman: The Road to No Man's Land Omnibus. $125 I've heard people tell me that No Man's Land is the greatest Batman run of all time, or at least in the last 20, 30 years. So, yeah, I really want to read this sometime. I can't drop $125, and this is just the road to No Man's Land. It's not even No Man's Land. JLA by Grant Morrison, Flash Savage Society, Genlock, Hellblazer. Okay, this is all just like reprint stuff. Time to blast through it. What the hell is this? Supergirl Cosmic Adventures in the 8th grade. Graphic novels for everyone. Okay, I'm calling shenanigans on that. Robin, 80 Years of Boy Wonder. Oh, Super Sons in an omnibus. That could be really cool. I think a lot of people are going to be down for that. It looks like it's going to be Super Sons, the crossover with Superman, and that Teen Titans. That's that Tomorrow storyline. You get the holiday special, the Super Sons annual, the Dynamite special, and the Adventures of Super Sons 1 through 12. 888 pages. That is awesome. You get basically it's all of Super Sons before Bendis destroyed it. All new collector's edition of Superman versus Wonder Woman. Teen Titans Raven and Beast Boy box set. $40. Who the flip is going to pay $40 for this shit? Oh my god. Oh, some death metal shirts. Now we get the statues. I'm just going to kind of blast through here. Now my thing. Here's the checklist of everything in case you want to pause, look, see what's coming out. You can pause now. Is there any more pages? Nope. So the reason I wanted to call shenanigans is they have graphic novels for kids. Wasn't that in the beginning here? Yeah, the kids. So why is there a for everyone? Do they just... There's not an everyone here. The whole reason they canceled Vertigo, they said, I know it was a bunch of bullshit lies, but they said we're streamlining the label. It's too confusing. People can't understand what's DC, what's Vertigo. It's too confusing. Right, but they can understand what Sandman Universe is, what Wonder Comics is, what Joe Hillhouse Comics is, what Young Animal is, Black Label, all these other things that you put in. That's not confusing. It's not confusing that you have comics for everyone, but that's not even listed on here. You're full of shit, DC. I'm calling bullshit. But that's it. It's probably really long. I don't know how long I've been running, but that's what it is. Hopefully, if you made it this far in the video, you got some entertainment out of it. At least, very least, just to see what's coming out for DC, what you're interested in. You heard my input. Give me your input if you feel like it down below. What you're liking about DC. Are you excited comics are back? I know we haven't had many yet, but what's raising your interest? What's keeping your interest? I look forward to doing a Marvel one once I ever get a hold of a Marvel thing. I don't know what Marvel's doing. I don't even buy many Marvel books, but it's fun to just talk shit about them, I guess. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.